Welcome back to the demonstration of Supreme Ruler 1936. I'm going to continue in the Resources Department, where the decision was to expand on an industry. So expanding an industry is a good next step. It's important to note that everything costs money. As soon as I order a new facility, it will have an initial cost and then daily construction costs in both money and industrial goods. Even afterwards, active facilities have an ongoing maintenance cost, so I'll need to be careful how much I build. If I start too much construction, I could run out of money, industrial goods, or both, causing progress to grind to a halt. I'm going to start building some new ore mines. It shouldn't take too much effort to get China self-sufficient in ore, and it's a component of all finished goods, whether consumer, industrial, or military. So this will certainly help the economic health of the country. Notice that as soon as I select a resource facility to build, automatically the map filter for that commodity is turned on. There are restrictions on where certain facilities can be built. Anything that depends on a raw resource from the terrain must be built on a resource deposit, for example. Facilities also need a complex that represents the infrastructure in that area. In this case, an industrial complex. I'll also consider that I don't want to build too close to the border and lose the facility to a Japanese invasion. Mousing over a location, as time progresses, will show the construction progress of the facilities. Let's leave resources behind for the time being and move on to research. China has 3 research slots available. Since the first one's free, that means I own 2 research center facilities. As such, I can be researching 3 different things simultaneously. To start, let's just add analog fire control to the research queue. There's also some unit designs that would be worth researching, but let's see if we can take a diplomatic shortcut to get these instead. So now we're in the State Department, a great place to make friends and influence people, and certainly how to catch up with other nations. Let's see if we can convince the United States to help, since they are a lot more advanced than China, and they also have some interesting unit designs that could make things a lot easier for us when we face Japan. So I've looked around a bit and decided on some key projects and unit designs that could certainly help me out. And, of course, they're not free. The US actually wants a little more than it would cost me if I was researching them myself. But in this case, I can afford the cost, and I don't really want to spend the time on researching it. I need to get these things up and going now. Since I acquired analog fire control as part of the diplomatic trade with the United States, it's been removed from the queue. Instead, I'll add anti-aircraft gunnery so that the anti-air defenses can be improved. Also, I think I'll let the cabinet minister take control of this department from now on and decide what to research. I can give him some specific areas to concentrate on, but for now, I think it's fine with whatever the minister decides. I'll show a little more about the cabinet ministers in a minute, but for now, I'll go back to the defense production. Now that I have some new designs, I can start building up the army. Since I haven't started any unit production or asked the minister to do this for me, I can see that I have 0 of 7 land unit factories producing units. Our air and naval construction capacities are 0, so land units it is. You can see that when I build units, they appear in the list with the settings of auto-deploy when complete and continuously built set to enabled. Continuous simply means that as this unit completes, another of the same design will be added to the queue. I could turn off either of these settings simply by clicking on it in the list. Equipment for land units is constructed in land production facilities. The equipment is then moved to the barracks and paired up with soldiers. When the unit is deployed from the barracks, whether manually or automatically, it will look to see if a rally point has been assigned. Rally point controls are available in the land department when a barracks is selected. In this case, I want them heading for the potential front lines, so I'll set the rally point in this area. Some unit types will take longer than others to complete, such as building elite infantry instead of regular line infantry. To get both quantity and quality, I'll need to build more facilities. I could, at the same time, decide to create some capacity for air units or naval units if I chose. Alright, I've got units massing at the potential front lines, I've garrisoned key positions, and I'm working on improving the economy and the military. It's a good start. I can now either repeat some of the steps and monitor the progress of the things I've ordered and continue doing them, or I could release some control to the cabinet ministers, as I did with the research department. The key is often to give the right tasks to the minister with the right priorities, so you can focus on the game element you want to play out yourself. It's easy to be distracted by an onrushing army and forget to build new units, research new projects, or negotiate for more fuel. With this task off my plate, I can indicate to the minister that I want control of my land forces. If I leave him in control of the air, he can respond to incursions using my air force, and he might be able to resupply some of my troops if they're running short on ammo or fuel by using a transport aircraft. Now that I've taken control of the land forces, it's going to be up to me to keep the Japanese from overrunning the country. If I can anticipate where they'll strike and spread out, I should be able to create some reasonably good defensive positions that will make their life difficult. One of the major elements of the Supreme Ruler series is the ability to directly control military units, tactical combat. I need to create a nice, tough front line of good quality infantry. That'll stop a sudden attack, but it won't be enough to withstand an all-out assault. Supporting the line of infantry, I'll need some artillery in the rear, and that will certainly cause the Japanese some headaches. Now, I just need to review everything is in place and progressing well, and I can speed up the game and get right to the action. So now you've seen what it is to play a game of Supreme Ruler 1936. Hopefully it will give you a good idea of the variety and scope of the gameplay, even if we didn't touch on every feature of the game. If you have any questions, be sure to contact us on our forums, where you can find out more information about a variety of features. Thanks for watching and for your interest in Supreme Ruler 1936.